Hey there, fans. Welcome back to another interview, right? We got a talent interview. Today we've got our good friend Mike, who does all of our editing. Mike, say hello to the audience.
How's it going, everybody? It's been a lot of fun. 2 years of work, and I can't take all the credit. Carlos does an amazing job just editing those scenes together in the 3D program before I touch it.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So you came on, you mentioned 2 years, right? The project has been going on for 9 years. We hit the 9-year mark last month in January. So you came on towards the tail end of it. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about you, Mike. What do you do? How did you get into editing and the world that you're in and so on and so forth?
Sure. I'm a video guy by trade. That's what I do for a job. I work out here in Silicon Valley in California, and I actually do training videos. So I don't do a lot of heavily creative things at work. It usually is more in the technical vein. And so this kind of opportunity fit me, letting me like expand a little creatively, after being in the industry for, 20 years or so, 15, 20 years. And I finally just was like, I would like to edit some cartoons. And I love, I was into Transformers. I got into the Masterpiece Transformers back in 2017, and seemed like a nice fit. So Transformers led me to you, and then, and thankfully, somebody, a very talented young editor apparently, was doing your editing before, and she moved on to Hollywood, and there was a spot, so I got lucky.
Nice. Yeah. So before we get into the whole project thing, tell us about how did you get into liking Transformers? I know you touched on it a little bit with the Masterpiece, but in general, did you watch the cartoons as a kid or growing up? When did you first come into the Transformers world, if you will?
Oh yeah, I'm your age, Carlos. We go back to the '80s, the original run of the Transformers. G1 was brand new when I saw it. I had the original Optimus Prime. When he had the rub sticker on it, the second version of it, yeah, my brother had Starscream, he had Megatron, I was the good guys, he was the bad guys. So yeah, when it hit pretty big, and I had friends in the neighborhood, kids I knew that just had, one kid across the street had like anything you could want, Omega Supreme, and that was just mind-blowing. He had all these toys. Then the movie came around, and I got lost because I didn't get to go see the movie at the theater. And so I couldn't understand what happened between season 2 and 3. And so I lost it. But after, so many years, I was like, man, I've got some money I could spend on some stuff. Why not have the childhood I thought I wanted, So started collecting the Masterpiece toys.
Nice. So you after leaving, you came back in 2017. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Wow. So you didn't watch any of the live action Michael Bay films or anything like that?
Oh, no. I was a fan in that sense, but even that, my friend was the one who got me to go to see that. He was like, hey, this Transformers movie's coming out. Let's go see it. I was like, if it had been up to me, I probably would have just let it slide by,
Gotcha. So you didn't watch any of the Beast Wars episodes back in the 90s into the late 90s?
Yeah, Beast Wars, when it came on, I tried to get into it. I gave it a moment. It was when 3D animation was coming out, and I was a hardcore traditional animation guy at the time. So I was like, what is this garbage that, it looks so basic, and I mean, it wasn't there yet. I mean, everybody knows it wasn't there yet.
No, it really wasn't.
But I never gave it a chance as far as the story went.
Got it. And where are you today with it? Have you gone back to watch it just to see what the story's like?
No, I haven't really touched Beast Wars except just to kind of understand things in the Masterpiece scale world. It's my focus is so heavy on the Masterpiece scale collecting.
And they've had Masterpiece figures of the Beast Wars, right?
Yeah, they do. I haven't gotten into that because, like I said, I'm not into the characters. I got a little into what was the latest series on Netflix?
The Cyber War or something like that. The trilogy, right, on Netflix.
Yeah, it was where Beast Wars and G1 basically collide.
Yeah.
And it's all 3D animation. I got into that.
What did you think of that, by the way?
On the whole, I thought it was entertaining. I just thought there could have been a lot more done with it. Because we had the 3 seasons basically, right? Yeah, I mean, I wish they had done more with it because it was so slowly paced. it was, it's kind of sad to say, but I think it really was deliberately paced slow just to stretch out the screen time so they didn't have to write a whole lot.
Yeah, you're right. I do agree with that. And to be quite honest with you, when you look at it, I think from an artistic perspective, there's a huge difference between the G1 looking Autobots and Decepticons and the Beast Wars. To be honest with you, the Beast Wars got a really nice update from the original. I mean, you had the original designs, but upgraded. And I just don't feel like the G1 characters got that. And it's sad because they could have. I think it was more so to push the toy line than anything else.
Which is sad because, you know, they were going for what was saleable, you know, and I don't really fault them too much for that, because it's like, you got to keep the product line going. I mean, come on, aside from Star Wars or G.I. Joe, you know, Transformers is a super long running series and property and intellectual property. You know, if they didn't keep up with the recognizable figures, they might lose an audience, and then how would you build that back up? You know,
right, well,
once you lose the team.
I don't think it was so much from that aspect. I just felt like the technology from the Transformers aspect was like basic. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like they could have done more and given us better 3D models, right? I mean, I guess I'm biased because of Transformers Prime. You look at the Transformers Prime figures and the character designs; they were awesome. And I just felt like the Netflix was just real boxy, real basic, going backward instead of forward, essentially, right?
Yeah, and as much as I wasn't so much of a fan of the 3D animation back in the day, I was critical of what I was seeing on screen for that series because, you know, instead of actual parts moving, they did a lot of texturing where it looked like the parts were there, but they really weren't. You could see the whole panel of texture stretch instead of actually pieces move. So there were some shortcuts there. And from a character design perspective, they totally should have gone back and redesigned. Why does Optimus Prime look the way he does? He shouldn't look like a truck before he gets to planet Earth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I you know what? I feel that same exact way when it comes to like the Bumblebee movie. I don't know. Did you catch the Bumblebee movie?
Oh, yeah. That was a good movie.
I mean, the Bumblebee movie of Optimus Prime, phenomenal on Earth. On Earth, it nails that G1 look. It's beautiful. Yep. It happens in the 80s, so it makes perfect sense. But in Cybertron, it just doesn't fit for me. Why does he have windshields? Why?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. These should be like automated vehicles where a human or a human-sized character doesn't fit unless you're bringing in like human-sized robots. You know what I'm saying? That ride
like the Minicons or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But not that they connect with them, but that they actually ride in them. Like if they were a driver, which still doesn't make sense to me. But anyhow, but I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Cool. So okay. So you know, you're coming in. You've got your. I know that you've got your own YouTube channel specifically for Masterpiece stuff. Tell us about that.
Well, my channel is called MP Reviews, originally called Mixel Picks. And then when YouTube updated and said, "Hey, you can give your channel a handle," I went, "Okay, let me give it a shot, and I'll just change it up to MP Reviews." So that's been going on for the past over 2 years now. And it's a small following, you know, but I'm thankful for the views, and I'm thankful I get to share my passion for the Transformers Masterpiece collection and Prime, because what got me coming back into Masterpiece got me into Prime, and Prime I thought was just awesome. I wish there were more shows like that kind of deep from a like that emotional perspective and that kind of serious perspective, you know. And not that I thought it was perfect, but it was wonderful. It was awesome.
It was. I mean, I don't think we'll ever have a perfect show. Number one, because there's so many of us that have different likes, different views. I mean, there's people that have grown up with the Bayverse universe, and that's their first introduction to Transformers. They don't know the 80s, they don't know the 90s, they don't know any of this stuff. They're just coming right off of the 2007 going forward.
Yeah,
so,
I think 2007.
Yeah, so now we've just got a different mix of fans, and it is what it is, to each their own. But so we're never going to have perfect, but I do think that was in my opinion, that's the cream of the crop. That's what set the bar for me, to be honest with you, as far as Transformers.
Yeah, aside from the characters, actually, the interaction and how good the good guys were and bad the bad guys were in G1, I thought Prime just did a great job of actually giving us more interpersonal characters, like deeper on the character side per character, and that was just heads above what G1 ever did.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. because we didn't really get deep into like each of the characters, you know, aside from like maybe Optimus and Bumblebee, you know, those types of characters. But we definitely, I mean, they had a huge roster at the same token. But sometimes like characters just appeared from one episode to the other without any type of explanation. At least in Prime, wow, we got to see when Smokescreen joined in how he got introduced and how he became part of the team, which was very natural and was very well done.
Yeah, and we got to know his background immediately. Like we knew what he was doing on Cybertron.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. So I totally agree with you on that aspect. All right, cool. So you're doing the YouTube channel, MP Reviews.
MP Reviews.
Cool. So for the audience who's checking out, we're gonna put a link in the description of his YouTube channel. Check him out. Check out his stuff. Give him a like. Let's help Mike increase his viewership. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there. I know that sometimes before I purchase something, I go look to see if he's got anything that I'm interested in, and I base my reviews off of that. Like you mentioned, you're getting into the Transformers Prime figures now. Is there anything that's on your radar?
I've been into them.
Okay, cool. Is there anything on your radar? Anything that's coming up that you're looking at?
Yeah, Cliff Jumper is coming out
from AP Toys, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. So I purchased 3 figures from them. Okay, I purchased my it's based off of the first series edition of the Prime figure.
Yes.
I got the RC. I picked her up too because they had shiny metallic parts, chrome, and a couple of extra features. But that's pretty much all I got of it. It's the same transformation, same action figure. So essentially, I'm buying just another action figure, right? However, they did a Arachnid, completely new mold, sweet figure. It blows the old figure out of the water. Did you pick that up by any chance?
Oh, I did, and I couldn't believe it because it was the first time, if I understand the news around that group, that company or whatever correctly, it was the first time they ever did like a mold of their own.
Wow.
And it is amazing. It really is amazing. It's also cool that if you look where the legs can attach to her in her spider form, you know, she's actually got 2 holes on the leg covers further down her torso, you know, well, actually on her legs. And it looked like they maybe intended for something to happen there with those legs too, but they never really fleshed it out in the instructions, but they left those holes there. So it's kind of weird. If you check me out on Instagram, I have a post where I actually mounted those legs to it while it's in helicopter mode and from those holes. Actually, no, that's where I have it sitting on its legs because I couldn't figure out how to get it to stand right with legs on the back. But yeah, that character's that is
let me tell you something. If anybody has the ability to pick up that toy, pick it up, replace it from your old one. It honestly, the old one is it's garbage compared to this one, to be quite frank. So the Cliff Jumper figure, I just saw the news for it, I think on Saturday or Sunday. And so I saw that it has some additional pieces, like I think it has like the 2 gun blasters. I saw some Dark Energon accessories on there. But is it a new mold or is it the same one from the first edition?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not great with the news aspect of things, but I'm just hoping it's actually a new mold. I mean, the old mold, I did buy that character, and I have not actually played with it to really know what it's like. But it looked okay. You know, it wasn't a horrible toy.
No.
But if
I mean, any of all the figures that they've had, like a Soundwave. So if you missed it the first time, pretty cool because their Soundwave has like the tentacles, which the first one didn't. So I mean, there's accessories that are so good. But like I'm really picky on what I'm purchasing just because the prices of everything are so high.
Sure.
I can't buy everything.
Right.
So I have to pick and choose. But I'll tell you one thing. I hope that they get into doing figures that we didn't see from that line. Like we never got an Insecticon figure, and I would love to have a nice big Insecticon.
Oh my gosh. I got the Insecticon figure. I love that character in the show. He's just so massive. All those Insecticons are just so massive. It didn't do them any justice with the toy.
Nope. They only did the toy for the Cyberverse, which is fine because we had other Cyberverse figures, but they never did an actual even a basic figure for it. You know, like a deluxe, or not that he should be a deluxe. He should be a leader, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's one that sorely needs.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. But if they go, if they continue, if they don't do that just a one-off with Arachnid and make a mold of their own, that would be a Prime character to do, no pun intended.
Absolutely. I'll be honest with you. Be it that you're into Masterpiece, I would like to see a Masterpiece figures of the Prime characters. I think in a Masterpiece style, I think they could totally do Optimus Prime without any of the kibble, because even in that APC one, he's got some back kibble, right? He's almost perfect. That back kibble just kills it for me, because it really takes away from his waist size, right? In the 3D character design, you could tell Optimus Prime has a small waist compared to how broad his shoulders are. And so the back panels, the way it folds down, it makes it look like he's got a wider waistline. So I think that a Masterpiece version, you could really get that figure as accurate, as show accurate as possible.
Yeah, and if nobody else if people haven't seen it out there, they should check out the Iron Warrior version of, it's a fourth party version of that Prime character, non-transforming, but it's like you can articulate it and everything, and it is Masterpiece size, I think, from what I remember hearing.
Yes, so I did a review on that about 2 years ago. The only thing with that thing is that the plastic is so fragile that it's like one of those model cars that you can't touch it. You can only look at it, because it might break or something might fall off. Like, honestly, Legos is a good example. Like, you can't really play with Legos. The pieces fall apart, right? Unless you glue it together, right? So it's even more fragile than that, and it's really lightweight. Like, the plastic, you can feel like it's hollow in the inside. Yeah, like, I think Flame Toys does model characters as well, and their plastic is solid. Like, I have a Rodimus here. I have no problems posing that one, messing around with it in different. My Prime has sat on a shelf, and I haven't touched it because I'm afraid to touch it. That Iron Warrior one. So I would like them to use better quality plastic if they continue with that line. As a matter of fact, they had an Ultra Magnus figure and a Megatron figure in line, and I don't know whatever happened to it. Never came out.
Yeah.
So definitely like to see some different characters. I think Knockout is another one that was not a good action figure in the Prime universe. I think that he needs an upgrade sorely.
Oh, he definitely needs to be a character. There's no chance that we have to get one of those.
Yeah. And so I just think, there's certain characters don't need to be done, like the Jet Brothers, Dreadwing, and Skyquake. I think those molds were perfect. They still hold up to this very day. Some of the Beast Hunters, or the Predacons, like Skylink, he looks nothing like he did in the movie. So I think that's another one that hopefully APC Toys can do, man. That'd be awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Another thing, just to plug one thing that's really cool about APC Toys is that if you were a collector back in the day, you would have had to get the actual character from Hasbro or Takara Tomy plus accessory kits to build out your character to look like some of these ones that are coming directly from APC Toys. So it's like they've bought the mold or something for these accessories that were actually always from Dr. Wu. So these things are coming with those accessories when those accessories were available. So that's a very cool thing. If you can't afford and you're not trying to get the original, you can get one of these, bulkheads, and he's got the hammer, the Forge of Soul, the Hammer of Solus Prime, and everything. So it's really cool.
It really is. They really do have the accessories that Hasbro didn't have. Because I remember Hasbro giving us, like, I remember like the Bumblebee car. He only had one cannon, arm cannon, like that you snap on. RC likewise, she only had one blaster. No, she didn't even have a blaster. She had the two arm blades, and that was it. So the APC Toys comes with the two blasters, and it comes with a resized blade, a forearm blade, which fits much nicer than the first one. So it's definitely a much better upgrade, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
So cool, very cool. All right, so let's talk about the project now. So you came in 2 years ago, or something like that. Tell us how you found out about the project first.
I gotta go in the Wayback Machine. So I was just online, chasing all my Masterpiece stuff, and I'd gotten into the Prime toys and things like that. I honestly don't remember exactly how it was that I came upon your site. But
okay, interview over. We're done. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I wish I could tell you I could plug it through Google or something like that. But honestly, it was just like an organic thing that happened. I must have been just Googling things and looking up Transformers Prime, and then there's this Transformers Prime Galvatron's Revenge, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I go check out your site, and I see that you're making this movie, all fan based, and I'm like, dang, this is awesome. And they're still not done with it, so maybe there's a chance that I can get involved. At which point, I was able to look you up because I went to your website and I found out you had the website. I don't know, I didn't cyberstalk you, but I got all your information. So
yeah, you did your research. I appreciate that.
And yeah, thankfully, you're the kind of guy that is reachable, and you guys had a need at the moment, so I was glad to fit in. I mean, it really is a step in kind of one of my life's dreams. Not that I had a dream when I was a kid, but like I've always liked cartoons. How cool would that be if you could actually work on a cartoon? So this is giving me a chance to actually work on a cartoon, and maybe someday I'll actually get into a Hollywood cartoon scenario. But this is just so much fun in the sense that I'm working directly with you. There's no politics involved as far as like you're not having to kiss butt with this person and that person. You're not told you can't help with this or whatever. It's just a really cool project, and it's a really good group of people to work with.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's funny because obviously people do things for a living, and when you work directly for Hasbro or for whatever company that owns the rights to these things, obviously you have to, you don't have free liberty to do whatever it is that you want. Sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's bad because in a sense it's good because you don't want somebody to come in and do something that's so far left field that it's unrecognizable to the audience. So in one aspect it's good, but then in another aspect, I think we've had movies in the past where the studio's gotten involved and it's tanked. I'll give you a good example. In my opinion, the Sam Raimi movies of Spider-Man, right? He did a phenomenal job in the first one. The second one it still stands the test of time. The best Spider-Man, arguably, out of all the movies that have come out. But then the third one was a flop, and from what I understand, it's the studio got involved. They were like, no, we want Venom, and he was like, I don't want Venom, I'm not there yet, the story's not there. No, we want Venom, you're gonna put Venom or else. So he put Venom forcibly, and we got Spider-Man 3, which was, again, in my opinion, the worst out of all the Spider-Mans, to be honest with you. So
yeah, I can't speak to those because I've only seen the first one. But
the second one, you got to watch the second one. Is really good. Okay. But anyhow, but yeah, so we don't have that. I mean, again, we're not making money off it. We're just doing this as a passion project. But it's cool that we can do that, and we have the technology now where we are able to. Dude, we couldn't do this as kids back in the 80s.
No.
Impossible.
Oh, no.
Impossible. So I'm so glad that we live in the technology, the day that we live in, where we can express ourselves artistically the way that we're doing, right?
Yeah. And maybe this will lead the way for companies like Hasbro to enable fan films to actually be something that other fans can enjoy openly, by just encouraging this kind of stuff in an official way. Like, hey, if you're a fan and you want to make this movie, kind of like the Star Wars franchise has done, they've let people use the sound effects, they've let people use the trademarks, not to make money, but they can go ahead and submit that to the official, Star Wars fan film for the conventions and whatnot. And yeah, why not do that with this? Why not do that with any property? Because as long as it's not defaming it or it's not putting it in a bad light, then why not just promote it and say, hey, come check out these amazing fan films, with all these different stories.
I agree. I think Hasbro is a little bit behind certain times. I think right now they're doing a lot of things that like, I'll be honest with you, I haven't purchased their action figures in a very long time because I feel like the quality has decreased. The type of plastic that they're using has changed over the last couple of years, but they're more expensive now. So I'm like, wow, so I'm getting a different type of plastic, a different type of material, and the price is even more expensive. That, to me, that's bad business and bad math. So someone who, like me, that spends a good amount of money on action figures, they're losing me. Even with like G.I. Joe stuff and X-Men stuff, you can see that they're just not producing what they need, what they used to, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a shame. Cool. So all right. So going back to the project, you've been involved for the past 2 years.
One quick thing on the whole, you being a collector and me being a collector, is that it's not even a small part of their market. we think about the toys back when we were kids, and yeah, they were made for kids. You didn't expect your dad or uncle to be buying the Star Wars figures or the Transformers. It was us, right? And apparently there's a lot of us that it's still us, and we make up, what was it, something like 40% of all toy sales are adults. So it's not like we're just the minority here. Hasbro needs to pay attention to the people who are seriously wanting to collect these things for nostalgia or whatever. So they need to consider where they're going with this plastic stuff. And
absolutely.
Kind of
There's a guy named, I follow him. His name, I've been following him for the past year or 2 years, I think. He's his channel's called Viper Island. He only does G.I. Joe stuff, but he had he's what I like about him is that he doesn't placate to Hasbro. Like he's not the yes man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He challenges Hasbro because he doesn't get anything from them, and he's not dependent on them. He's independent. And I think those are the best types of people, because when you're dependent or you get a benefit, you tend to change your reviews or your opinions so that you can get the benefit. Therefore, you're no longer unbiased. You're biased, right? So he has a video that I just recently saw, like about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and he's talking about the challenges that Hasbro's happening with their marketing, their sales, how it's on the decline, their quality control is on the decline, and all of that's adding up. A really good video. I'll send you the link, or I'll link it in the description if anybody wants to check it out. But it's true, and when I hear it, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's the reason why I'm not buying it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's not true. This guy's like full of air, hot air, or whatever. There's truth behind what he's saying. So anyhow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's other examples out there. I watched this guy, Tidarium Hanger. He does a mix of all sorts of 80s action figures, retro toys, and all that stuff. And he's talking about, he showed right on camera, brand new franchise, Dungeons and Dragons, coming from Hasbro. He's very excited about it. He opens up one toy, and it's not even the toy that was supposed to be in the pack.
Saw his video. Yes, I saw his video. Yes. I mean, that's the type of thing that I'm talking about. You do that, and I think he complained about it, and the next one that he got had the same scenario or had another issue with the figure that he obtained, like the broken arm or two left arms or something like that, right?
No, it was. Well, I remember that he actually had two problems. It was a wrong character, and the leg was like bent because it had been leaning in the box or something all this time. And then he opened up the one that it was supposed to be, and then even that leg was a little bit bent. So he's going like, at least it was the right character, and it's not as bent. But come on,
and those are more often than onesie twosies, right? I'm hearing and I'm seeing based on these collectors that quality issue is rising. It's increasing. Let's just say it's not something that's out of control, but it is increasing, and it is costing them money at the end of the day. But whatever. Cool. Let's go back to the project. So you've been on here for 2 years. Let me ask you, what has your experience on this project been like?
It's been a good challenge for me. Going from doing mostly training videos, and I've done a little bit of creative stuff in the past. Like I did start my own channel before I worked with you, and that kind of stuff. But being responsible to somebody else for a timeline, on a schedule, working with other people who you get materials from and have to give materials to, it's a good challenge. And it's just been, I've been surprised, and kissing butt here a little bit, but, your team has been, the quality that you guys all put out, from you doing the animation to people blocking it out for you to people doing the sound design, and doing the soundtracks. The amount of talent that's in the pipeline is amazing, and I'm really in awe of like how much you've been able to do and how much we've been able to do together over the past 2 years, because your story really has coalesced in the last 2 years. When I got into contact with you, I was so lucky. You were at the beginning of trying to release it scene by scene, and so I got to get in on the ground floor when you had everything, all the challenges pretty much behind you, and all the build up, all the character design and everything. It would make a pretty interesting documentary, I think, if people really wanted to know what went on to make this thing happen. So it's been challenging. It's been fun. I've been able to prove to myself that I can do decent action sequences and decent editing of materials, like making those into the recaps during every scene.
That's been fun.
Originally I wasn't. Yeah, those were a good thing for me to learn, because I was like, oh, I could do that, and then when you actually sit down and do it, you're like, I did it. That's cool. I did it. And then you're like, could I do it again? So it's really someplace you can prove yourself and get more confidence and share some of that excitement that you have for the fandom and for the cartoon itself.
Absolutely.
And get that excitement out to other people.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this: so far, since we've been posting the scenes, what's been your favorite one so far?
Wow. A couple of them stand out. I really like, well, as far as scenes go, I really like the space battle at the beginning, episode 1 and 2. That's a really cool, fun space battle. I can't wait to see that fully rendered, because what you guys had done for that, I mean, if the final renders are going to be anything like that, it's just going to be fantastic looking. And other than that, character-wise, I've been really digging these last couple scenes where we're at the construction site and there's just the huge throwdown with everybody, and you have all this tension.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. It's been, it's the climax, right? So it's got to be there.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to post the final one at the end of this week, so that's exciting. I don't want to ask any questions there because I don't want to give anything away, but I think that this finale, just seeing 18 as a whole, is a grand finale and very much worth the Transformers Prime universe, right? Type of style, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, director, producer, I have not seen the scene yet, so I will be doing that editing here between now and Friday. And it'll be on your desk, I swear, in time.
I'm sure you'll send me a text message like you did last month. Be like, dude, this is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I love seeing Megatron and Prime come back together. I love seeing the wrap from the old show to this, where you're like, okay, Megatron's now a changed character. What does that do for him in the future? Does he just go on and wander like Kung Fu, that TV show, like he wanders the earth like Kane, or what, and so this shows them coming back together, and I love that, and I love that he's still Megatron, but he's different.
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest things about, like, I saw the first 2 episodes of Earthspark, and I just I can't swallow Megatron being a good guy or being a hero. I mean, to me, that's like Hitler all of a sudden saying, hey, I'm sorry, I did everything that I did historically speaking. I'm good now. I mean, you've got to answer for the consequences that you did. And seeing as how, historically speaking, right, there are so many people that were impacted directly and indirectly by Hitler's action. I just can't see all of a sudden Megatron be, yeah, sure, come on, here's an Autobot symbol. Way to go, buddy. That just it logically doesn't make sense. And with our storyline regarding Megatron, we're not changing Megatron's essence. We're just giving him a different focus. He's got a new level of hatred going on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, and to be honest, I didn't go there yet. As far as like, I'm still hoping that he would be reformed, but I do like the fact that he was not so openly reformed that it was unbelievable.
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
He's still got the swagger. He's still got the ego. He still thinks he's awesome. Yep.
Yeah. So in essence, like all we did was like, all right, he said at the end of Predacons Rising, like the Decepticons are no more. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to oppress anybody, which is great. That's phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's a hero. Doesn't mean he's a good guy. It just means that, you know what, based on how Unicron tortured him before, he's like, oh, these are heralds of Unicron. Hold on, let me get my punching bag or my punching gloves here and get back into battle, right? So it's we're just continuing where the last series left off is essentially what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's not a complete character change. I get what you're saying. So it's more believable in that sense. So I'm eager to see how it plays out in this last scene for sure.
I have one more question for you. Oh, can we talk a little?
No more questions. Sorry, no more questions.
Can you give the audience a little bit of detail? I know that you and I haven't spoke, and I know this is not anything that's written in stone. It's written in sand for anybody who doesn't understand that phrase. But can you talk to us a little bit about the Blu-ray menu that you had some ideas on?
Oh, nothing super specific. It just in my former job at a different company, I had even in my current company, I had the opportunity to actually do some DVD authoring, and I liked being able to do the pages that you go to, like you see on every Blu-ray or DVD, where you can go hit that button, it takes you to the special features. Hit this button, it takes you to the behind the scenes, that kind of stuff. And who knows? I mean, it could even include some Easter eggs if you and I talk about it and we want to throw something kind of secret in there. So it'll just. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to build this out, and it's more about the features that would be in it. Like, here's the movie, and then here is maybe maybe the edited together pre-rendered movie. It's like. It's not gonna be as soft. I mean, as final as the nice one, but it's gonna be what you saw on YouTube, but cut all together. So you can have those kind of like work copies plus the director's final cut. Behind the scenes specs on the characters. Like I know you would do those spec reviews on the various characters. Maybe we take those and put them on there as a feature so that people get the entire experience of the creation of the movie.
That's awesome. Cool. Good information. And then to close off, we've got we recently chatted, and we're gonna get together, spend like a half a day or a full day looking at everything next month once everything's been laid out, kind of going in with an eagle eye, taking a look at what needs to be refined, enhanced, so on and so forth. I'm
screening end to end.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. But can you go into like any details, any information that you have that you want to share with the audience regarding that?
It's the first movie that I'll ever have had an editing hand in that I've worked on from beginning to end, and so that'll be fun to actually take all these scenes, punch them all together into one timeline, see how they work with each other. Back to back, without any interruptions, because the experience you have watching a scene to scene, there's a tempo that you're not aware of that can be happening between different characters. There's tensions that are being built among these different scenes that might be 3 scenes across from each other, and so you got knockout here in scene 5, and you got him over here in scene 2, and you don't know really what's going on in between, and so there's this hanging question, and you don't get that until over here, right? So we're going to put that together, see how all that works, see how the action works. Carlos, I'm excited to hear that you were talking about the possibility, and I don't, you're going to edit this out even if I blow something, but you were talking about actually having battle damage on the characters, which currently we have them getting hit, but we don't really see any battle damage. So that texturing, that'll be cool to think about where we're going to see that, because that'll become apparent. Like, he got blasted here. He should be wrecked, and he should be wrecked in the next scene because he's still blasted.
Yep. Correct. Yeah, we do have that. Thankfully, we've added some new artists that have come on in just the past week. They've officially come on. So one of them knows texturing really well. So they're actually creating, as we speak, a video on how we can change the texture so we can see that battle damage. That was one of the things that Jonathan forgot to do for us, was create a model that was shiny and new versus battle damage, right? So this new artist is doing it for us.
Yeah, and from what you told me, Jonathan, moved mountains, so it's like, he didn't get to that detail, but that was probably going to be there eventually. It's just that he did so much getting things set up anyway.
He really did. We wouldn't be anywhere without him, so we owe Jonathan a good amount of credit. You know how I am. I don't like to put myself in the spotlight as far as like, oh, it's all because of me. Honestly, our entire team, anybody that compliments me directly, I go, no, it's a team effort. I couldn't have done this without Jonathan. I couldn't have done it without Vicky. You've been a major contributor. Nolan has as well, and so on and so forth. And all the people that have modeled I mean, it would have taken me like I would never be done. You know what I'm saying? So it really is a team effort. Yeah, I'm project managing it, and yeah, I'm doing all this stuff. But honestly, all of that means nothing. It's like football. You have 11 players, right? Yeah, if you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to get the ball to the wide receivers. But if you don't have somebody who can catch it, it doesn't matter if that quarterback can throw it or not. If they can't catch it, you know what I'm saying? So everybody works in sync, and that's the beautiful thing about our team. We've all contributed huge amounts, and it's the reason why we're at where we're at.
Yeah. And the passion that you have for the whole story and for the Transformers Prime universe itself is just awesome. I mean, you've been at this. If I I mean, obviously we're not spring chickens. We're both older guys. But I saw that your YouTube channel goes back like 14 years. I mean, you know, I saw something just popped up in my feed recently. It was like a transformation video you did of an animation way back 14 years ago with like, I don't know, 1.7 million views. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was 14 years ago.
Yeah, that was my first animation render of a Transformer. It was like masterpiece version of what I thought Bumblebee would be in a Volkswagen Beetle, right? So yeah, that one, and the timing is so off. I look at it now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've come a long way, to be honest with you, and there's still more that I need to learn. So you know, it's just it is love. It is love. I love Transformers. I love Transformers Prime. I think that's as close as perfect as we're ever gonna get to a Transformers for me, at least for me anyhow. And so yeah, that's why we're doing this, and I can't wait to get into the second one. We've already started to do some things on the second one. I don't know if you saw the newest character design for Swoop.
No.
I'll send it to you, but we gave it an upgrade. I'll send you the before, the one that we released originally, and then the upgraded, so you can compare and see how much more we've improved. But I'm really excited going into the sequel and then eventually into third. Talking about the sequel, let's confirm here for the audience: will you be returning for the sequel?
I will be returning for the sequel, at least in part. Things are, you know, in my personal life, I have never been married, and I'm going to just put this out there. I haven't asked her yet, but I'm going to, and so that's going to change my life. But Transformers will still be a part of it, and I don't plan on going anywhere before the end of the next movie.
That's awesome. So we wish you congratulations. We wish you good luck, right? Congratulations in advance. And listen, after we're done with this, you're going to have a long vacation. By the time we're going to do editing again, unless you wanted to do something else, it's going to be a while. So both you and Nolan get a huge amounts of breaks where I just get to keep going. My wife's like, wait, right? I told my wife, she's like, wait a minute, I thought you were going to be done with this. And I'm like, no, we got a sequel. She goes, what? But she's really supportive. She knows that this is a hobby and it's a love, and she supports me fully, and she's been watching all the updates, and she's like super uber impressed. But you know, so I'm sure your wife is going to have that same type of support for you.
Oh, she's been awesome. Yeah, she actually loves my Transformers collection. She geeks out when I'm like, I got this cool new toy. She's like, open it. I want to see it.
Babe, are you listening to this?
She is concerned though, because it's gotten a little crazy in my house. As you can see behind me, like there's a lot of robots around.
I got a lot of stuff on my art desk, and then all my action figure, I moved it into the garage. But that's already. I mean, I've got 3 bookshelves full of stuff already. I don't think I could do more. So I'm very selective now. But
that's good. That's
good. Man. Cool. So listen. So is there anything you want to close off with? Anything you'd like to share on your own?
No, the only thing that I can say is that I really hope that you know, your dream of actually having a studio and being able to do animation as a job, you know, would come through, and I hope people, when they see this, they realize like how much this was driven by you. The vision's all you. You know, the passion is you. I was surprised to find out that most of the animation, as far as like the character speaking and moving, is you. You know, that's a ton of work, and for somebody to be able to do that, I'm in awe of how you're able to do all these things and be a father and have your 9 to 5, you know, 40-hour week job. So my hat's off to you, and I just want to let you know that I admire you, and that I hope something good comes of this, where you could, maybe make that dream come true and actually have this be your living.
Praise the good Lord that gives me the strength to do it, man. Because you're right, it is a lot, but it's there. And like I said, I have people to help and support, and yeah, I hope something does come out of it. I would like to do this for a living, but until then, it is what it is, and I'll keep trucking until that opportunity comes.
And then as an alternate answer, I'd say if and when it does happen, I hope you will consider taking me along the ride and, giving me a job to be part of your editorial team or story team or, somehow be a part of your venture.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, there goes.
That's without question. That's without saying. It's the same thing with Nolan. Nolan pretty much does the same thing. And we actually had an opportunity that came across for him, a sound opportunity. And I referred him, and so he's working with a client overseas on some scores. So absolutely, it's definitely going to happen. So it's just a matter of timing.
That's awesome. Okay. One more thing before we go. I just wanted to encourage everybody out there who is wanting to make their own films. Now is an amazing time with Unreal Engine, with iClone, things like that. Guys at work are messing around with that. I've got a coworker who's working on a feature-length film using the Unreal Engine and iClone. And if you guys want to get into this stuff, go find out how to do it. It's easier to do now probably than it has ever been. So you want to make your own Transformers film? Go on over, learn that stuff. Put it out there. You got a story? Put it out there. And just have fun with it.
Yep, I've had a lot of people reach out saying that we've inspired them to do their own stories, to do their own stuff. And I can't wait to see that stuff. I tell everybody, go for it. Shoot me a link. Shoot me some stuff so I can see it. And the goal for them is not only to do it, but also to do good quality because, we want – it's for viewership, right? So if you're putting low-quality stuff out, it's difficult. But if you're putting good quality stuff, it doesn't have to be the best. But if it's good enough, then you're going to get that. And you just get better and increase and so on and so forth, right? So you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Cool, brother. All right, man. Thanks so much, man. Have a good one.
All right, Carlos. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.